Okay, so we have drums, keys, bass. I know in anticipation that I'm going to want some kind of pad sound, something with some sustain that's going to fill in some gaps and really make this thing feel thick and nice. So I'm just going to duplicate this keys part, and I'm not going to include the insert because I'm going to choose a different instrument than Contact. I think I will just go ahead and start with expand. I am purposely choosing a sound that I'm not super excited about because I really want you to choose something that works for you. But we do want something that has sustain, meaning that it's a long sound. So we don't want like mallets or a xylophone. So I'm going to go into polysynths and choose this trance best. Turn it down. It's very loud. And I am going to turn off the simple saw. So one thing you can learn about expand is you can turn off the various parts. So I'm just using the big sweeper. And I'm also going to turn off the effects. So if you see here, there is a phaser and a ping pong delay. And mostly it looks like the ping pong delay is not being used because the way that effects work in expand is that FX1 goes to FX1 and FX2 goes to the ping pong, FX2. So actually I said that wrong. It sounds like the phaser's not being used. But I can turn those both off because I don't want to have any delay right now. Okay, so I also don't want to have this kind of space in between my notes. For this sound, and again, it may not be this sound, I want to have it, the notes sustain into one another. And I'm going to just throw this out there because with another sound that I experimented with, I wanted to make a couple changes. Depending on the sound, it really, being in the second octave here can become problematic because the notes can interfere with your bass. So feel free to kind of use this idea of, we put G in the bass here. Depending on the sound and depending on the purpose, we might want to have that higher note again. It will also help differentiate this part from the keys part. This is my lowest note. I want to see what this sounds like. My issue with this is that there's not a lot of change to it. Let's see what happens if I do this. Of course, listening to it in isolation doesn't always tell us anything. All right, by the way, I was just undoing a couple things. For this sound, I don't like it that high. I am going to leave my G up in the top, my 7th note. But for now, I kind of like it the way it is. I'm going to change the sound just to demonstrate what I mean by that. If I put in the sine pad from Soft Pads, it's a very, very different type sound. And in this instance, I may very well take this So if I were to use a sound like that, I think I would make those changes. But with the trance situation, I don't think so. Okay, so we now have a pad part that we're going to come back and augment with another technique. But for now, what I do want to see is some kind of long sound that will play underneath our keys. I don't like that sound. Just go ahead and bounce out the pad, please.